Hey, and welcome. Today, we're going to reframe how we look at certain difficult relationships. It's about more than just getting away from them. It's about finally understanding the incredible power you actually hold. Let's dive in.
So, right off the bat, this question flips everything we think we know on its head. We're always told to be afraid of the storm, the chaos, the unknown. But what if the real trap, the actual danger, is the very thing we thought was keeping us safe?
And that leads us right into our first big idea, how comfort can be so deceptive. We're going to explore how that feeling of being comfortable can sometimes be the most powerful prison of all.
You see, the kind of comfort we're talking about here isn't about feeling safe. It's about staying stuck. It's this numbing agent that kind of whispers in your ear, convincing you that just staying put is so much easier than fighting for yourself. You're not trapped by chains, you're trapped by cushions. And this, right here, is the narcissist's favorite tool. They create this cycle where their presence, as draining as it is, feels predictable. It feels more comfortable than the scary idea of leaving. It's a very carefully built illusion designed to keep you right where they want you. So, why do they do this? What's driving this intense need for control? Well, it all comes down to the central idea of this whole explainer, something we're calling the Sheild. And believe me, it is not what you think it is. Okay, so here's the absolute key to understanding all of this. Their control over you, it's not a show of strength. Not at all. It's a shield. A really fragile defense mechanism that they are desperately holding up to protect themselves from their own inner world, a world that's just filled with insecurity and total chaos. Because when you get right down to it, this is their deepest, darkest fear, being alone. And not just, physically alone. I mean, being left alone with their own thoughts. All that inadequacy, that worthlessness, that fear they've been running from, your presence is the only thing distracting them from that terror. Which brings us to the big question, right? What happens when you take that distraction away? What happens when you finally decide to take your power back? Well, that's when the shattering happens. It's just two words, but they hold so much power. You leave.
And the second you do, boom, the consequence is immediate. It's absolute. That shield they were hiding behind, which was just their control over you, it doesn't just crack. It completely shatters into a million pieces.
And just so you know, this isn't some quiet, graceful breakdown. Oh no. The shattering of their ego unleashes everything they've been pushing down, pure rage, deep bitterness, and this desperate scramble to put the pieces back together. But the most terrifying thing for them? They're finally left face to face with themselves. You have to understand, for them, you leaving isn't just a loss, it's a full-blown crisis. By walking away, you do the one thing that's unthinkable to them. You prove their power wasn't absolute. And to an ego that fragile, that is a catastrophic blow. And this is where everything flips. This is the great power shift. The story stops being about their collapse and starts being about your rise. And your freedom, that becomes their terror. It really is that simple. Because when you don't just survive after leaving, but you actually start to thrive, you become living, breathing proof that their whole story was a lie. You show the world and them that you never really needed them, and that just destroys the very foundation of their ego. It's like every single step you take into your new life, into your own strength, holds up this giant mirror. And in it, they can't see anything but their own weakness, their own inadequacy. Your freedom shows them just how small their prison really is. Now, are they ever going to admit this? Of course not. They can't. So instead, that envy, that bitterness, it's going to come out in other ways. You'll see it in those little subtle digs or the way they dismiss your success. Or sometimes it's just pure, outright hostility. It's all just a defense.
So what's the big takeaway here? After all of this, what's the one thing you really need to hold on to understand this dynamic?
That moment you decide to walk away, you're not just escaping a bad situation. It's an act of reclamation. You are literally taking back the very essence of who you are, your energy, your self-worth, your future, all the things that were being used to prop them up. And that right there, that's the ultimate consequence for them. That's how the story ends. With their shield gone, with you no longer there to distract them, they have no other choice but to finally face the one person they've spent their whole life running from. So never,
ever forget that. The real power was never about their control over you. It was always, always about your choice to take back your own life. That is the true power dynamic, and it's been in your hands the entire time.